I was listening to the Peter McCormick Vitalik interview with Samson. Did you catch that, David?
Yeah, it pissed me off, man. I had to turn it off last night. And this is one thing I'm concerned about with Vitalik, because I wanted Vitalik to take the offensive, because he wouldn't. Vitalik is very, very peaceful. He's very pacifist. And Samson was being a fucking asshole.
He was being a bully.
He was being a bully, and he was just being a wrong bully, and Vitalik wouldn't call him out on it because of how nice Vitalik is. And like, it was the most disingenuous.
But don't you think, David, like that came through to anyone who was listening?
I'm not so sure, man. I'm not so sure, because Peter McCormick's audience are a bunch of Bitcoiners that hear things like what Samson Mow says as like gospel. I am not so sure.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that kills me with criticism is like things like, and this is back to our question, our earlier conversation is, kept pressing Vitalik on gas fees, that sort of thing. Bitcoin has the same freaking problem.
Yeah.
When Bitcoin is in high demand, Bitcoin block space is in high demand, transactions become too expensive to use. Only, you know what they do to scale Bitcoin is it scales essentially on crypto bank infrastructure on side chains like Coinbase and Binance and that sort of thing, right? Whereas Ethereum has a slew of other options. I just find a lot of the criticisms aren't equally applied to both networks.
The part that pissed me off the most was, and to continue your conversation of how Bitcoin scales, Bitcoin is going to scale on Ethereum, and that's going to be how it scales without having to succumb to crypto banks. If you want to use Bitcoin expressively, it's going to come to Ethereum. Bitcoiners got really excited about the MicroStrategy purchase of like 21,000 Bitcoins. Well, there's 43,000 Bitcoins on Ethereum. Like, that's twice as big.
Yeah, so converting that into monetary terms, it's 250 million versus like something like 500 million, right? So MicroStrategy purchased 250 million Bitcoin, and there's already 500 million tokenized Bitcoin on Ethereum.
Right, and so Ethereum is going to scale. We are currently scaling, and Bitcoin is going to scale by coming over to Ethereum. And what really pissed me off the most was that Samson Mow said to Vitalik, to his face on the podcast, lying through his teeth, that people in DeFi are preferring to use wrapped versions of Bitcoin instead of Ether.
Oh, dude.
Because
I caught that.
It offered a stronger foundation.
Is that where you turned it off at that point?
That's where I turned it off. I was like, this is absolutely ridiculous. Okay,
it's a lie.
The belief is that Bitcoin itself is a very sturdy foundation, and that you build big structures on sturdy foundations, and Ethereum isn't that sturdy of a foundation. That's a fair criticism. And that's the criticism that was baked into that argument. But what Samson Mow forgot about is that in order to get Bitcoin onto Ethereum, you have to have trust in something like RenBTC, that you have to make sure that protocol works, or wrapped Bitcoin, you have to make that BitCo is going to do that correctly, or TBTC, like they haven't gotten out the gate. But he just glossed over.
TBTC, you actually have to have ETH to make the trustless Bitcoin work.
And so he just glossed over this massive trust assumption that this is just going to work, because he wanted to spin the narrative of just like, people in DeFi want to use WBTC, which is just abjectly false. Yeah. Oh God, it just fucking riled me up.
Me too, because I think that is the deception that's going on, right? Like, to be honest, the Bitcoin story is simple to understand, but like when they lie about the Ethereum story, it frustrates me. Here's the thing: is the other thing Samson was doing that pissed me off is I consider myself a Bitcoiner. Right. All right. Same. Like if you ask me, but I'm not Samson Bitcoiner. Right. Right. Like that. Like Bitcoiners are right. Maximalists are wrong. Right. Like I can be a Bitcoiner and also be an Ethereum. Right. Right. That's what the Bankless Nation is. It's optimizing for the most bankless money system wherever it exists. And so I think his painting of Bitcoiners as pure maximalists is, it's just not going to age well. I don't think that's why people are entering the space for.
You know what I think he's doing?
What?
I think he's playing the Bitcoin game. And the Bitcoin game is to get everyone to buy Bitcoin. And so he's playing a game where he is trying to brainwash people by lying in order to get them to play the game. Because when more people play the Bitcoin game, Bitcoiners, the people that have already been playing the Bitcoin game, win, right? And so I think it is And also, Samson Mow comes from Blockstream, which is an attempt to build a expressive sidechain for Bitcoin on Ethereum, or BTC on Bitcoin. And there's no bigger, stronger competitor than Ethereum to Blockstream. It's not Bitcoin versus Ethereum, it's Blockstream versus Ethereum. Like, no shit, Samson Mow doesn't like Vitalik and what he's built, because his Ethereum is going to make Blockstream completely redundant and unnecessary. And also, by the way, James Presswich, who is a very great developer on both Bitcoin and Ethereum, discovered a bug in the Blockstream Liquid network that is where this Bitcoin gets its expressivity, that would allow someone to steal all the Bitcoins. And like, he's talking about how Ethereum is like this shaky foundation, while his own Liquid had this bug for months that no one discovered because no one fucking uses it. Excuse me for using the F word.
Look, man, I think you're right. I mean, full circle here, right? Samson is playing the game. However, I have a massive problem when you're playing the game unethically, when you're lying about it, right? And by the way, that's not the game I'm playing, right? Like, I want a money system to actually be good for the world, right? I don't fucking care if like Bitcoin gets to trillions of dollars, but all we're left with is a banked money system that doesn't restore self-sovereignty to individuals. Like, that's why I'm here. And I do think the tide is shifting a little bit, David. Like, I think people who listen to Bankless and then tune into the McCormick interview are like, oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Is this really the kind of the intellectual mecca of maximalists? Yep. Because it's empty. Mm-hmm. It's like a dry closet of skeletons. Mm-hmm. There's like nothing there. There's no organic material. There's no substance there. So that's why I continue to listen to the episode, because I was just like, wow, this is the best you've got.
Yeah.
It's, man, what I want to see a debate of is honestly is like an Ethereum debating on like Ether. You know, mm-hmm. I feel like we could make the argument a little bit better as to why Ethereum might fail.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was not it.
Yeah, that was not it. No, that was a bag inspired conversation from Samson Mow. And that's kind of what, like, Vitalik's such a nice guy. Like, he means the best. He doesn't really want to get offensive, but I would love to see a world where Vitalik like brought out the teeth. Because he could, Vitalik's very witty. Vitalik is really clever, and I think if he wanted to, if he practiced at it, he could destroy Samson Mow.
Yeah, I know. He's just
he's too nice. He's too nice.
He's a better human, to be honest.
Yeah, he's better than all of us. That's for sure.
Yeah. So